Hi everybody, it's Carrie. Thank you for coming to this class on how to feel relaxed. I think that one of the reasons why many people do yoga is because they want to relax. They've either heard it from their doctor or their friend, and their stressful lifestyles definitely have come to a point where they know they need to chill out a little bit. One of the interesting things for me is that yoga isn't only about relaxing. Relaxing, of course, is one aspect of yoga, but you can do yoga to feel energized, to feel sexy, to feel powerful. But overwhelmingly, people come to yoga to feel relaxed. So for me, having struggled with anxiety most of my life, relaxation is something that does not come easy for me. And what I have found is that I need to let out the anxiety that lies within my body, whether that comes from jitteriness or lack of sleep, but physically I need to tire myself out just a little bit before I can allow the rest of my body to get into that relaxed state. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna move our bodies a little bit and then restore and find that deep, deep state of relaxation. So go ahead and bring your hands together at prayer at your heart center. Press your thumbs, into your sternum, and we'll take 3 ohms here. And I want you to notice that when you breathe, see if you can get the breath right up by where your thumbs are pressing into your sternum. Okay, so take a big inhale. Let that sacred sound connect you deeper into your mat and deeper into your practice. Now, if you're sitting up on something like I am, you can stay there or you can sit yourself back down, but crawl your fingertips all the way over to the right. Root down through your left seat and take your left arm all the way up and over your ear. Feeling a big stretch from left hip all the way through left fingertips. Round down so the back of your ribs start to feel a little bit of expansion, and inhale back to center. We'll do it one more time. Round down as if you're looking down towards your mat. Feel the breath come into the back of the ribs, and then inhale, come back up through center. Go ahead and come back the other way. Left fingertips crawl out. Root down through your right seat. Inhale, take your left arm all the way up and over your ear. Feel that big stretch from right hip crease all the way through right fingertips. Inhale, round down. Feel the backs of the ribs open. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, round down. Again, feel the back of the ribs expand. Come back through center. And go ahead, come on up. Now we're gonna take a forward fold. Just remember which shin is forward. I'm gonna come off my block for this, but you can stay if you'd like. Sit up nice and tall. You're gonna hinge forward at the hips, crawling the fingertips forward. When you start to feel that stretch in your outer hips and maybe your lower back, go just as far as you start to feel sensation and not too much farther. I want you to keep your breath smooth and steady. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold it down. And then relax your chin towards your chest. Just take a few breaths here, seeing if you can focus the breath into the back. Your belly is probably pretty close to your thighs. For me, it's like right on top of my thighs. And because of that connection of belly to the thighs, the breath wants to travel to the back of the body. Inhale, come on back up, and then we'll switch. So I had one shin in front, I'm gonna switch to the other shin. Again, sit up, I'm gonna tilt my pelvis a little bit so my booty is reaching towards my TV or behind me, and I'm gonna crawl the fingertips forward. Again, each side's gonna be a little bit different. So on this side, I can crawl a little bit more forward before I feel sensation. But then as soon as I feel that sensation, then I'm just gonna soften down. It's not about going to your edge. I know that's a popular fitness term. Usually going to your edge means that you can't breathe because the edge is almost tipping over. So I want you to go where you feel sensation and stretch. but you can still breathe fully and normally. And then maybe after a few breaths, then you can go deeper, but maybe not. Awesome. Inhale, come back up. So before we come onto all fours, I just want to introduce this concept. It's a little bit irreverent. Inhale the good shit, exhale the bullshit. So the inhale is the restorative, the breath that gives us rejuvenation, oxygenation. It gives us uplifted mood. And the exhale is where we release a lot of stress and anxiety. We release the bad shit, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed, which I'm guessing maybe you are because you came to feel relaxed, focus on the exhale. The good news about breath is it's both involuntary and voluntary. So even if you're not focusing on it, it will happen. So instead of focusing on the inhale today, the inhale will happen on its own. I want you to focus on the exhale. That is the key to letting out the bad shit, right? So let's come to all fours. Let's take a little cat-cow. So inhale, lifting your heart, dropping your belly. Exhale, rounding your spine, chin towards your chest. Inhale, lifting your belly. Exhale, rounding your spine. Inhale, lifting your belly. Exhale, rounding your spine. Take your right palm the opposite direction, so towards your knee. And then bring the weight a little bit back towards your heels. This is quite a doozy for most people. We work on computers and we hunch over our phones, and so our wrists here can be quite tender. Go ahead, shake it out, and then we'll do the other side. Left wrist turns back towards your knees. Try to get the whole base of the palm down. Maybe you stay here, maybe you take the weight back a little bit. See, again, you don't want to go so far where you start to catch your breath. You want to feel sensation and breathe to soften into that sensation. Awesome. Shake it out. Alrighty, here we go. So in all fours, we have the cow, which is belly dropped, heart lifted, tail lifted. And then for cat, we have rounded, tail down, chest curled. Neutral is somewhere in between. So one thing with neutral is we can kind of sink our belly. I want you to make sure that you're drawing your ribs in and up so the back of your body feels very supported, sides of the neck are long. Go ahead and take your left leg out, ball of the foot on the ground, and you can roll back and forth for a second to stretch through the calf and the Achilles tendon. And then go ahead, have the right hip come right underneath the right, the right knee come right underneath the right hip. Right arm forward, palm face in, lift your left leg. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, elbow to knee. You can always drag the left toe on the floor if balance is an issue. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Either stay here or kick your heel towards your buttock, reach for the top of the foot. Now, let your ribs come together before you kick your foot up into your hand, and your hand resists. Go ahead, come back down. And we'll take the other side. So now right foot comes back, roll through the ankle, roll through the calf, the Achilles. When you come into stillness, make sure your left hip is over your left knee. Draw your ribs in for that neutral spine, engaged and able to support your back. Left arm forward, palm face in, and then lift the right leg up. Big inhale here, lengthening on the diagonal, bird dog pose. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Either stay here or kick your heel towards your buttock, reach for the top of the foot. Again, I'm kind of sinking in through my ribs here, so I'm going to draw my ribs in first, then kick my foot up so it's supported. Big breaths. Go ahead and let go. Awesome, guys. All right, coming back to that same kind of thing, but doing a little something different. Take your left leg all the way back. Right hand comes a little bit more center. You're gonna place that left heel down on the ground, whole sole of the foot on the floor. And you can either keep your right shin where it is, or lift your right foot, pivot on your knee, and take your right shin behind you. Sometimes that feels more supportive. Stack your left hip on top of your right, left arm comes up. Big breath. Then pull your ribs in, flex your left foot, and lift it up. Restorative Ardha Chandrasana pose. You can stay here, or if you felt like kicking your heel toward your buttock when we did bird dog felt good, you can try here. Kick your heel into your buttock, open up. Challenging our balance. Go ahead and re-extend, bring both hands down, and come back to all fours. Let's take a cat-cow just to neutralize the spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Nice. Next side. Right leg comes out. Bring the left hand a little bit more center. Roll through the right heel down and the whole sole of the foot comes to the floor. To challenge, you can keep your left leg as it is. But for more stability, lift the left foot, pivot on the left kneecap till the left shin comes behind you. Stack right hip on top of left, right arm on top of left. Pull your ribs in. Maybe you stay here or maybe you lift your leg, more like Ardha Chandrasana, kicking your foot, flexing it. Maybe, like bird dog variation, you kick your heel towards your buttock, reach for your hand. Open up the chest just as much as you're opening up the quad. Release, hand down, foot down, unpivot your knee, and let's take a child's pose. 3 breaths here. Sometimes it's really nice to roll your forehead on the mat. It's very grounding, feels safe. Big breaths. And then go ahead with your hands where they are extended. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, down dog. Go ahead and pedal through. That first down dog can feel very funky. Come onto your toes, bend your knees, lift your hips. And then you really want to push your hands down and forward as you lift your hips up. Drop your heels. And that same thing that I talked about where we neutral spine in all fours, where the ribs draw in just a little bit to support the lower back, it happens here too. So you're not going to your edge, you're not pushing your chest as far back as you possibly can towards your thighs. You're drawing your ribs in slightly, so you feel all this support in your lower back. It's not quite a cat pose, but it's definitely more supported than cow. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. For this first one, let's take knees, chest, chin. I gotta bump my block out of the way with my head. Baby cobra or up dog or high cobra, whatever feels good this early in the practice. Recoil back like you're gonna take a child's pose, but it's a fake out because you're lifting your hips for a down dog. Awesome. Inhale, lift your right foot up to the sky, heel towards the opposite buttock. Square it back off. Step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. Drop your left knee. So take your left hand a little bit wider. Turn your right toes out. Your right hand's gonna come to the inside of your right thigh and you're gonna press your right thigh open so you're on the outer blade of your right foot. Get long through the whole left side of your body and then curl your left ribs under, your right ribs up. Big breaths. Sometimes it feels nice to be still. Sometimes it feels nice to rock back and forth here. Kick your left heel towards your buttock and with your right hand, reach for it. Now, for those of you that you're like, no way, I can't do that, lifting your left hand up helps. So if it was hard for you to reach, feel free to put your left hand underneath the block. But also, you don't have to reach for your back foot. It's okay. That's not the goal of this class. The goal of this class is to find relaxation. Gently let go, hands come down, and we'll press into our ball, back ball of the foot, lift the knee, take the right leg all the way up and back, 3-legged down dog. 3-legged vinyasa if that's in your practice, so 3-legged plank, 3-legged chaturanga. Up dog always has both feet on the mat. Exhale, down dog. Let's take 3 breaths, inhaling and exhaling, focusing on that exhale. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. Inhale, lift the left leg up, and then step it to the outside of your left hand. Right knee comes all the way down. Heel toe your left foot if you haven't already to the very edge of your mat and turn the toe out. Right hand maybe comes a little bit over to the right more, and your left hand will come to the inside of your left thigh, roll to the outer edge of your foot. Get heavy and long through the whole right side, and then right ribs under, left ribs up. Either stay still or rock from side to side, whatever feels best. Usually for me, a little rocking feels good. I can get into like the nooks and crannies of my body that way. And then if you'd like, kick your right heel towards your buttock with your left hand, reach for it. Again, stretching the left shoulder as much as you're stretching the right quad. Gently let go. Hands come down to the inside of your left foot. Lift your right knee, three-legged down dog. And then if a three-legged vinyasa is in your practice, go ahead, take three-legged plank, three-legged chaturanga. Both feet on the ground for your up dog or your baby cobra. Exhale, down dog. Big inhale. Big exhale. Bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, sweep the arms to come stand. Exhale, hands to prayer. So we're going to take two Surya A's. I'm going to face you for the beginning part of it so that you can see what I'm doing with my hands. And then I'll face back towards my bookshelf. All right? Remember, focus on the exhale. Inhale the good shit. Exhale the bullshit. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Separate your feet a little bit. With your right hand, grab a hold of your left wrist. Root down through the left heel. Take it all the way up and over to your right. Breathe in through your left ribs. This is like the very first stretch, similar that we did in our seat when we ohmed. Inhale back through center. Left hand grabs a hold of the right wrist, root down through the right heel. Take it all the way up and over to the left, breathing wide through the right ribs. Inhale back to center, lift your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step or hop back, vinyasa or down dog. Three breaths. Bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, sweep the arms to come stand. Exhale, hands to prayer. Hit my lamp. That's exciting considering I'm only 5 foot. All right, inhale, sweep the arms up. This time, interlace the hands except for the pointer fingers. The pointer fingers are to the sky. Squeeze your head with your upper arms. Again, you can either have your feet together or slightly separated. Bend your knees. Take your tail underneath you. Squeeze your head as you lift up. Then if it feels okay, lean back ever so slightly. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, fold forward, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step or hop back, vinyasa or down dog. Three breaths. Bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, sweep the arms to come stand. Exhale, hands to prayer. Arms by your side. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Really nice. All right, I'm gonna face you, but you can stay facing the top of your mat. Separate your feet about inner hips width, maybe a little bit wider distance. And you're gonna sit the seat down, wide leg Utkatasana. So the first round I'll show you from this angle. The second round I'll show you from a different angle. So you're gonna put all the weight on your right foot, cross your left ankle over your right knee, keep your left foot flexed a lot. Then you're gonna sit back. So my booty is reaching back, my heart and my chest is reaching forward. I'm gonna try to have both hip points be even, so I might have to pull my right hip back a little bit more here. If it's too much for your hands to be forward, you can bring them to your heart or to your hips, but heavy that left buttock a lot. Either stay here or option, left elbow over to the sole of the right foot or back of the hand to the sole of the left foot. Arm presses against foot, foot presses back a lot. Keep your gaze on the upper right corner of your mat, but twist your chest open. This is a tricky one. For me, sometimes it helps me relax when I focus my mind on a task that's a little bit tricky, because then it takes the worries of everything else away. Inhale, come back up through center, and then you're gonna step it back, high lunge. So I have to move, or else I'm gonna step back into my TV. Here we go. Right hip back, left hip forward. Bend your back knee, scoop your pelvis forward and draw your ribs back. Oof, till we feel that stretch in the front of the left thigh. Maybe you sink it down a little bit deeper and straighten your back leg. Really nice. One more big inhale. Interlace your hands at your sacrum. Elbows come closer together, and then draw the fists to the floor. Ooh, did you hear that big crack? That was like my entire spine. That was great. And then if you'd like, you can take devotional. Keep your right hip moving back. Melt your heart to the inside of your thigh. Fists come up and over your head, but let the front of your shoulders lift away from the floor. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, open up your arms, warrior two. Inhale, straighten your arms, straighten your legs, look up. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, straighten your arms, straighten your legs, look up. Exhale, come back down. One more. Inhale, straighten your arms, straighten your legs, look up. Left hand slides down the left thigh, right arm reaches. Triangle pose. Stay really long through your right side body. So if you need to bring your hand up your shin to do so, go ahead. You don't have to reach the floor. Take your right hip back towards your left hip. 2 more breaths. Take your left arm all the way up and over your ear. Oh, big side body stretch there. It feels so good. Exhale, hands come down back to your low lunge. And then step it back, either 3-legged vinyasa, regular vinyasa, or you can always be like, I do not want to take a vinyasa carry. I'm gonna take down dog, that's fine. Or even child's. 3 breaths. So you are here with me in Brooklyn, which is why you can see a lot of my apartment here. New York City apartments are not so huge, so we have to do yoga wherever we can, which is, if you could see the whole room, you'd see that all my baby's toys are shoved into a corner. I've had to move my couch, and here we are doing TV in front of, doing yoga in front of my TV. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. And go ahead and let yourself hang. So you can grab opposite elbows if you'd like, or yogi toe lock. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, bend your knees, fold. For me, folding feels better if I bend my knees. And by better, I don't just mean less strain, but I mean I can feel it deeper. I can lift my seat higher. I can feel the stretch in the belly of my muscle versus in the back of the joint, which is where we do not want to feel the stretch. And then slowly roll up, let go of whatever arm variation you're in. Slowly roll up vertebra by vertebra. Mountain pose. So close your eyes for a moment. We've exerted quite a bit of energy. We have one more side to go. And then we'll find some deep restore. All right, so separate your feet inner hips width distance if they're not already there. Come into that wider leg Utkatasana. The weight is really in the back. It's more in the heels than the toes, if at anything in the toes. And then you'll cross your right ankle over your left knee, figure 4. Keep that right foot flexed. Sit way back. So you can see from the side angle that I'm sitting so far back and my belly's almost touching my thighs, depending on how much I've eaten. This is early in the day, so my belly isn't as big as by the end of the day when I've eaten all the food. I love food. It'll flop, right? So just get it close. Right hip back, left hip forward. Reach your arms forward. So much energy, heart energy, fingertips reaching forward, sitting so far back. Take your gaze to your upper left corner of your mat. So now maybe you stay here. This is like bus stop 1. Bus stop 2 if you want to go deeper into town. Back of the right hand to sole of the right foot, or even elbow if you want to go deeper. Arm, foot, whatever's touching, presses against the foot presses back. You start to feel your shoulder blade come onto your back. Gaze stays on the upper left corner of your mat, but your left arm reaches up. So you have a spinal twist here. Deep focus. Inhale, come up, right knee into the chest. Exhale, step it back, high lunge. Now for me, in high lunge, I like to heel toe my left foot a little bit wider for balance. Bend your back knee, so now both knees are bent. Go ahead and pull your left hip back, draw your groins forward, and let your ribs come back till we feel a stretch in the front of the right thigh. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you go a little bit deeper and start to straighten your right leg. As long as your pelvis and your ribs stay in that new adjustment, if you straighten your leg and all of a sudden things go wacky again, come back to the bent knee. Lift your arms up, high lunge. Interlace your hands behind your back at your sacrum. Keep your elbows bent. Draw your upper arm bones together, then straighten your fists to the floor. Open up your chest. You can stay here, bust up one, or bust up two. Left hip back, melt the heart to the inside of the left thigh. Lift the front shoulder points away from the mat. Inhale, come all the way back up. Plant your back heel and open up, warrior two. Inner left knee moves towards your outer left knee. Inhale, straighten your arms, look up. And legs, I should say. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten your arms, straighten your legs, look up. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Straighten your arms, straighten your legs, look up. Keep your left hand reaching up, slide your right hand down. Hips creases back, fingertips forward, triangle pose. Really press down through the left big toe ball mound here. And if you feel tension in your left knee, bend it a little bit. Keep your left side body long. Maybe feel your right hip draw forward a little bit as you soften your ribs and your heart back. Take your right hand all the way up and over your ear. Big old stretch. Exhale, hands come down to a low lunge. Three-legged vinyasa, regular vinyasa, or no vinyasa. Three-legged plank, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then I'm gonna come into a child's pose. Feel your forehead on the mat. If it's not on the mat, put a block there or stack your fists one on top of each other so that your forehead has something to root down to. Maybe even roll it from side to side. Inhale, come on up and come to sit. So, right leg long, left sole of the foot into the thigh for Janu Sirsasana. Keep that right foot flexed. Sit up nice and tall, twist your belly over your right leg. Left hand comes to the outside of your right leg, right hand wide, elbows wide. So it's a twist and a fold. Collarbones broad, and then it's like you're gonna bring your left cheek down toward your left shin. Again, focus on the exhale. Inhale, come on up. Left hand's gonna come by your left hip. You're gonna come onto your left shin and turn your right toes in. It's similar to what we did at the top of the class, except this time we're gonna let our pelvis come as far forward as it wants to. Right arm sweeps back, so it's a little bit of a back bend here, stargazer. And then exhale, sit back down. Either Sukhasana like we did at the very top of class, right shin forward, left shin back. If you're ready to go a little deeper, we will take fire log pose, right shin on top of left. Now this alignment's really important. So the ankle has to be right on the knee and the knee has to be right above the ankle, both feet flexed. If your knee is really lifted, you can put padding here, or you can take this bottom heel a little bit closer to your buttock. That's another way to descend it. Also, sometimes rolling up and teetering on the edge, like rolling up a towel or rolling up your mat and just kind of teetering helps the pelvis tilt. All right, here we go. Inhale, lift. Keep finding all this lift in the chest as you fold forward, chest proud. Go to where you feel sensation. Don't try to press or go deeper than you need to. Once you feel sensation, pause there and try to regulate your breath. Maybe think about doubling the exhale. So if you inhale for 3, let's say, see if you can exhale for 6. And it's okay if you can't. We're just trying for that. It's nothing you have to tightly, grasp. Pull your chest a little bit more forward and see if you can go down just a little bit. Maybe let your head go. Inhale, come on up. Left leg long, right sole of the foot into the thigh for Janu Sirsasana on this side. So sit up nice and tall. Twist your belly button over towards your flexed left foot. Right hand slides down the left leg, wherever it lands. Left hand comes wide. Elbows bend, collarbones wide. Twist as you fold as if your right cheek is gonna come down your left shin. This side is so much tighter for me, guys. It's so interesting. Every day when I come to my mat, you know, you have your injuries or your parts of your body that are usually a little tight. Maybe you sleep a certain way or you carry your bag or your child on one side. But lately, my sides have changed. So I'm curious about what in my lifestyle has changed to make the other side start to feel a little funky. Inhale, come on up. Right hand by your right hip. We're going to come onto the right shin. Turn the left toes down to the floor. Let your pelvis come forward. Swing your left arm all the way up and back. So here's our back bend. Stargazer. Sit back down. Either Sukhasana, left shin in front, or Fire Log, left shin on top. Sit up nice and tall, scooch each buttock a little bit back so we work on that pelvic tilt. Again, think about growing up and out, so long, finding space from the hip bones to the floating ribs and lower ribs. Tilt down till you feel sensation, and then hang out there. Breathe into that first clue. The clue of the body that says, "Ope." There it is, that's the spot. See if after a few breaths you might be even able to soften a little deeper, but if you can't, no worries. Just focus on the breath. Let the head go, maybe shake it yes, shake it no. Inhale, come up. Let's take soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. This is one where a lot of people need to roll up and sit on something. So if you do that, make sure that you sit not your whole bottom on it, but just the hip, the sits bones forward so that you feel like you're falling off. That's the goal. We want like more of a wedge, not a flat. So we want you to feel like you're falling off. I know that sounds weird, so that you can tilt forward. You have some more leeway with your hips. So if you have to sit yourself up, please do. Otherwise, open up the feet like a book. Again, think up and over, elbows in. Let your collarbones be broad and wide, and then let it be one long line from your tailbone through your heart, out the crown of your head. So not your chin. Your chin tucks so that you have one long line of your spine, tailbone all the way through mid-spine to the back of your heart, center, through the back of the crown of your head. Inhale, come on up. Two straight legs, Paschimottanasana, okay? So, this is a tricky pose for a lot of people. So find L shape first. So whether it's L shape with your arms lifted, or L shape with your hands behind you. Find the lift, the tilt of the pelvis, and then lean forward until you find sensation. So that might be with your hands behind you, and you can always stay like that. If this is the first time you've ever felt the stretch in the backs of your legs and your lower back, then stay with your hands behind you and just drop your chin towards your chest. Maybe you reach up and over as if you're gonna overshoot your feet. And then whatever your fingers land on, shins, floor, do hold on to something. Even if it's your pants or the mat, because the back doesn't like to relax unless you're rooted down in the hands. So lift up and over, and then exhale, fold forward. It's not about touching your toes. It's about finding length and a flat fold as the pelvis tilts. Just don't worry if you don't touch your feet, it's okay. True story, I've been doing yoga for like 28 years. And it's only about 10 years ago that I was able to touch my toes, and I was even a professional dancer, and I couldn't touch my toes. So it's not about touching your toes. I promise you. Inhale, come on up. And we're gonna go lay down on our back. So since this is about restoring and feeling relaxed, if there is a blanket or something cozy that you would like for your Shavasana, maybe go get it now. We're not gonna come into Shavasana just right yet, but very shortly, okay? Roll down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll around on your sacrum a little bit. The sacrum is the triangle right above your tailbone. Take your knees all the way over to the left with your gaze over to the right. And then take your knees back to center. Take them all the way over to the right with your gaze over to the left. Inhale back to center. We'll take half happy baby. So left sole of the foot on the ground. Grab either your outer ankle, your outer foot, even your outer thigh, and draw your knee down and wide, like it's gonna come to your armpit and then past. Now, if you have a bad back, I'd love for you to keep your left foot here on the mat. But if you feel okay here, extend your leg. Left hand roots down on your left thigh. And really try to pull your shoulder blade onto your back and let the femur plug into the socket on the right side. Take the right shin across, figure four. You can either stay here or grab for the shin, steering your right thigh open. And then switch. So right sole of the foot on the ground, half happy baby, opening the left knee out and down. Stay with the right sole of the foot on the floor if your back is tender. If it feels okay, straighten the leg, but dig that right heel down with your right hand root through the top of the thigh. Take your left shin across, flex the foot, draw the right knee back up for figure four. Both feet are flexed. Your left elbow is opening up your left thigh as you draw your knees towards you. You're not lifting towards your knees. You're relaxed. Your knees are moving towards you. Maybe if you want, you can take your shin instead. And then go ahead and take the soles of the feet together. Now, if you have blocks, grab them. If you have two pillows, that will work as well. Soles of the feet together, knees out. And then because this is about relaxating, that's not a word, about relaxing, I don't want you to feel like you're straining here. So bring the blocks or the pillows underneath the top of the thighs so that as your knees are open, they're supported. And then bring your hands to your lower belly. Just breathe and notice the rise and fall of your breath into your hands. And again, if it suits you, try to elongate the exhale, which is where we release a lot of our stress. And then before we come into our Shavasana, I find it really helpful if I don't run away from what's bothering me. So I have this thing, it's called Name the Thing. And I scan my body and I notice what in my body is needing attention. And I just name it to myself. So for today, it feels like shoulder. So I just think it to myself, shoulder. And then I scan my mind, and this is probably the more important of the two, although both are very important. And I name the thing that's taking up the most amount of space in my mind, or taking up real estate, as I say. So for me today, in all honesty, it's making these videos for you. I'm concerned that I won't be able to make videos that you like, or the whole rigmarole that we feel, imposter syndrome, you know, all of that stuff. That's another set of emotions. But I just name it. When we don't look at the thing in the face, when we try to avoid it, it makes it worse. So just name the thing and then let it go. You can stay here for your Shavasana if this feels good. You might even put a blanket over you. Or you can grab the back of the thighs, bring your knees together, take the blocks out, and take your Shavasana. I strongly urge that even if you're not cold, you take a blanket and you just wrap it around your pelvis. You can even burrito wrap yourself by tucking the sides underneath. Blankets or a little bit of weight on the pelvis really helps relaxation. And if you do feel like getting snuggly and putting yourself under a blanket completely, please go ahead and do that, and we'll take a Shavasana. Take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Start to bring a little movement into your fingers and your toes. And draw the soles of the feet flat against the mat, knees up to the sky. Curl your tail under ever so slightly, just so your lower back, your sacrum makes a better connection with the floor. And then curl yourself on over to one side to a fetal position. Don't rush here. Stay in fetal position on one side and let your body dissolve into the floor. Appreciate gravity. Whenever I'm laying here in a fetal position on the floor, it sort of feels like I'm being held. It's like, I got you. That's what the floor is saying to me. I got you. I got you, boo. Don't worry. Gravity, you're here. We're going to keep you grounded. So maybe feel that. Feel like we got you. You're being supported by the universe, by gravity, by me. And then slowly start to press yourself up into your seat, reclosing your eyes if you had to open them to sit up. And then just notice where your heart center is and try to line up your heart center more with your sits bones or your tailbone. So it's probably leaning back ever so slightly. This is a much more relaxed posture. Usually when our heart's in line with our tail, we're sleeping or we're laying back in a hammock or a beach chair, just relaxing. So throughout the rest of your day, see if you can hack your mind by adjusting where your heart center is in line with your tailbone or your sits bones to have this laid back, relaxed posture. And maybe your brain will also feel laid back and relaxed. Hands to prayer at your heart center, and we'll finish with one final Om. Big inhale. purr up to your forehead and then bow down. The light in me honors the light in you. We are just the same. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Bye from Brooklyn. I'll see you next time.